Greetings, guys. Welcome back. My name is Wrath. This is Under the Table. We just wrapped up episode 5 of King's Crossing. This is our post-game talk show where we get to break down the episode, the campaign as a whole, talk about, anything we want to talk about. The roles, the story, the people, the quests, the drama, the trauma, who knows. So in this one, our characters completed their adventure out to the White Woods, the White Trees, who knows what's going on, the base of the mountain. And along the way, they had a couple of different instances, events that they stumbled upon before finally setting up camp and everything that followed. So, does anyone have anything they wanted to talk about?
Fuck you and your tiny children monster things.
It was a great way to end. Good.
Yeah, it was a good way to end.
Yeah?
But still, fuck you.
I've been waiting. I've had these guys written in for so long, and I've been waiting. I was like, I'm so excited for you guys to fight these, to come across these things.
I know Alexios isn't like a player character, and he's supposed to be like a sideline character, or what have you, but getting him to do it slightly a bit more is a lot harder than I thought it would be.
What exactly were you wanting them to do? Because
no, just I don't know. Participate.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I've done DM PCs and I've gone overboard with it where I get too involved and like start taking charge of stuff, and I was like, I know you guys deserve the spotlight. Alexios is here to just support. Yeah. So there's things that he is doing.
Seems to be
There are things that he is doing, but he's a support character, so he's going to be boosting you guys. So like, when you're skinning the animals, he's giving you a bonus on those. He's giving you his knife, but he's giving you a bonus to your, which you didn't need. You rolled super well, so it didn't pay out. If you guys sleep out here in the woods, you guys are gonna suffer. Because you're in unsafe conditions, so on and so forth. But he was singing and performing and giving you guys somewhat bardic inspiration to where you guys weren't taking peril damage throughout the night. You guys slept really well because you guys were imbued with his songs and kind of the mood setting. So there are things that he is doing that are kind of passive bonus help. I was talking with Pickles about this, about how it should be, I don't know, instead of being like, hey, like I need to be up here helping you guys fight, it's like, okay, I'm going to use what I have to help you guys be better. Is kind of the role.
I don't know. I don't really know what I expect from Alexios, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a hero. He's not an adventurer like you guys are.
No, he's just a dude that we've kidnapped.
Basically.
I don't think we kidnapped him. I think we kind of just found him. He's a small child that needed help.
It's a grown man.
Didn't want to eat this. This grown man couldn't even kill a squirrel.
He's a musician. How many musicians are out hunting squirrels?
He made sure that the boar was dead. Walked up to it and just.
Yeah, you stabbed the boar. Remember?
Maybe.
So you guys hate Alexios. What else is up?
I do not hate Alexios. Stop putting words in my mouth.
He seems useful. He's got knives that I don't have.
Yeah.
Well, now I have knives that he
doesn't
have.
Yeah, now you have one of his 3 throwing knives. He's gonna get into combat and he's gonna throw one, go and throw 2, and then he's gonna go grab his 3rd one. He's gonna be like, ah, shit.
Does a throwing knife count as a silver dart by any chance?
Potentially. There is flavor you can put behind stuff. If that makes sense.
Just for further thought.
Mm-hmm. So, what else we want to talk about? Pickles, you're awfully quiet. You still mad about me saying that you guys weren't eating?
No, I'm thinking on what I had said about my maybe radical thoughts on how NPCs should perform within the group as allies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my opinion that, like, I feel like an ally shouldn't be rolling dice necessarily. Like, they should just have static benefits that do affect the group in like a positive way, because nobody likes it when you have an archer join the group and they're like, yeah, I'm a bit of an archer, then they miss every single shot. And it's like, well, yeah, but the dice hate me, and 40% chance is 40% chance. What are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. Was that an attack at me?
No, it's not an attack at you. It's an example.
No, I'm
It's
making
actually
very
business errors.
easy. It's very easy to have allies join and the GM not wanting to make them like super strong, be like, well, I don't want them to overshadow the party, but I also want them to be able to help. But it's that fine line.
Mhm.
And so, at least lately, I felt that NPC allies should have a generally reliable but low impact support to the group. And when it comes to passive things, my thought is that, yeah, if you have passive things helping us, it does it does help to acknowledge when a character is helping us by saying, like, because of this beautiful music, you no longer have any risk at going down the mental peril threshold. Like, it's a little bit meta, but it's worth acknowledging so that players can say, oh, they are actually benefiting us.
The way I
This
was
is the
gonna
thing
I think you're actually useful character.
the way I was gonna do that, and I agree. I think that should be known, because otherwise you're like, wow, Alexios fucking sucks. So then you ditch
he
him,
just plays an instrument.
right? So you ditch him and you go out by yourself, and then you notice, hey, we're getting peril damage because we're out here in unsafe conditions. We didn't get that when Alexios was around.
But our characters would get that, though. They'd understand that, like, if the music is actually helping us in that way, and that passive benefit, I think
True.
that our characters would be like, wow, this is different, because we're
True.
not our characters, but our characters have been in this setting more or less. And
True.
I think they'd be like, maybe not Grunkle as much, because he doesn't give a frick, because he's got a berserker bonus to sleeping.
Also true. It doesn't really bonus Grunkle, but
It's such a silly bonus, but yeah, that's what we do. Sleep in the
That's what
mud,
he
it's all
do.
good.
Grunkle bonus to sleeping.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just what I was thinking during that part. Wasn't being an angry, sour
Yeah.
pickle.
So yeah, the thing with my NPCs is I don't want them to get too involved. You guys are supposed to be the heroes and adventurers. I don't want them to overshadow you, and I don't want them to, like Pickles said, come in here and you guys are like, oh, you're a fighter, and they're like, yeah, I mean, I'm an NPC fighter, and then they just miss everything, and you're like, wow, you're the worst fucking person ever. And I'm like, ah, crap. So I can't have them too good, can't have them too bad. So I kind of liked Pickles' idea about just having kind of be supporters and like passive bonus kind of gifters. And so each NPC that you guys befriend, ally, bring with you, they're not going to be frontline. I mean, some of them might be able to, come out and help fight and stuff. But what they're going to do is like, okay, you're fighting 50 things. You've got this group that you've brought with you that are fighting those 20. You guys are fighting these 30 or something. So that way over there you can see they're hacking and slashing and doing their thing, but they're not like directly involved. Or it's going to be like you guys brought a cook who is really skilled at cooking, and he's like putting all the stuff that you guys have gathered, snake meat, and like turning it into this nice brew, or like a soup that you guys could enjoy, and you have a warm meal, and that's really going to boost you guys and really help with like healing and comfort and stuff like that. So it's all different. So like Alexios in combat isn't, I'm going to pull him away from really attacking because that's not his strong suit. He's not an attacker. But he can do other things. So like when you guys got hit with the mushrooms, he used something to do this gust of air that allowed you guys to clear your senses and get out of the situation.
Makes sense. I mean, I'm not. You keep saying we hate him, but we really don't hate him.
I figured you guys
I
probably
ribbed
didn't
him a
hate
He's
him.
little
just
bit.
kind of there in the background, so he gets forgotten a lot.
Okay, yeah, so I did scream at him once.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is like I think about it too. Like as you guys are traveling, I'm like, okay, what would Alexios be doing? But I don't want to. You guys are having your conversation. I don't want to interject and be like, yeah. Also, Alexios is like, yeah. I'm like, and Alexios wants to say this because I mean, I want you guys to have your spotlight, not Alexios to be like, yeah, I also have a voice and want to say stuff and have an opinion. because I don't think that's fair.
That's why I keep asking Alexios things after I ask both of these two things.
Which is fine. Yeah, I mean, you guys can
his
include him
thoughts
as much
on
as
the-
you want, and he'll, and
His
it's also
thoughts on the situation as well would be good.
there is
'Cause he's still a part of the party. He's not like he's not just a random person that they
Mhm.
found. He's part of the party.
there is an underlying.
He actually is a random person we found.
True.
Well, yeah, but
There is an underlying reputation here to where like you guys
just
get back to
find him and be
town.
like, okay, go on.
You guys could get back to
He
town.
is literally a random person we found.
You guys could get back to town and he could just be like, yeah, these guys were fucking assholes the whole time. They made me carry everything. They threw me in the mud. They were calling me names. And then people are going to look at you guys and be like, really?
Actually,
Like,
we got Grunkle to hold everything.
no, I'm not saying you guys did that. I'm saying if you guys were like total assholes to him, he could get back to town and be like, yeah, those guys were fucking assholes. Like, they're not heroes. Fucking
These
dicks.
guys were fucking assholes to me. They made me carry everything.
Grunkle can do that, yeah.
Chocolate my
Grunkle
arm.
leaves the party.
But so there is a reputation thing that is going to be a long-standing thing in the game where you guys can build reputations with people, break reputations with people, so on and so forth. And as you guys, I mean, you guys already know the general idea of this campaign is that you guys are going to be heroes and well-known, adventures in this land, and so people will know Torvekek. Yeah, I have his trading card. Like, I know him. Like, he's got great stats. Like, he's his kill count is awesome. Well, not right now. No one knows you, but
We're gonna have collectible
Your-
cards after our
your
podcast.
your background on your card could be white bright light and you in glorious valiant armor, or it could be
Like
red shadow
Torvekek.
light and you're standing there with blood dripping off your sword because you're Torvek, the devourer.
foil back card.
Yeah. So this reputation thing is going to. So how you guys treat Alexios isn't going to make or break you, but it is. There is impact there.
Oh, from what I've come into, I think I've been treating Alexios as more of a person than these two have.
Wylfer, I want a huge shout out to Wylfer this session. Well, all of you guys got great rolls. Absolutely. Well, besides Torvekek got lost on a critical fail once. But the rest of your guys' rolls were like 8, 7, 7, 8. I was like, damn.
I have-
Instantly.
I do have the persistent need to be the leader for some reason when it comes to D&D games. So if I'm stepping on anyone's feet, please tell me.
It's all good.
It just kind of happens, and I just start leading the party. Sean was running a D&D game, and I was like, no, I'm not going to be the leader this time, and then it just happened.
I know that feel.
So yeah, if I'm stepping on anyone's feet or pushing in line, then yeah.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
I wouldn't just join the party, so.
Join the party. I'm in charge
Yeah,
now.
I'm in charge now.
I'm the captain now.
I thought it worked out well. Torvekek started becoming like the leader as far as like the guide, moving you guys through the swamp because he was rolling great. He was finding the trail, and I didn't even. There was a point where I stopped making him roll for it. I was like, no, you've been succeeding. You've gotten like 8s and stuff. You're fine. You found the trail. You're moving along.
It's weird because he's a tunnel dweller, not a.
we
Not a
just let the tunnel
swamp
dweller
dweller.
take lead in a place he's never been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know how to do this, right? No, but I'll try.
I
succeeded.
can't apologize for almost making you walk into the swamp and then just shooting an arrow.
What was that when
That's something my character would have actually done. No, you know what? Hero moment. Think.
Oh, getting the deer down you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a smooth move. When you like, oh, you know what? I just shoot it. I was like, hell yeah, let's go for it. That's
It
awesome.
works,
It was a
That's
very
a-
smooth move.
Yeah, you rolled for it. You nailed it. I thought it was so funny. I was like, what do you guys use to tie the thing up? And I didn't even think about it. And you guys were like, oh, we don't know. Anyone have rope? And then when you guys said anyone have rope to tie the deer up and all this stuff, I was sitting there and I was like, there's a ton of rope. There's a rope going up to the
Yeah,
tree.
no,
There's a rope
yeah.
that's tied to the other tree.
went through my backpack. I was like, I don't have any rope. I got fishing line, but I feel like fishing line would snap. That's
Yeah.
just like a real thin string. And then I was like, Wait, I shot a rope to knock
As soon
the
as
deer down.
I saw
They
it when
still
it clicked
think
for
I'm
you,
closer to the deer.
because it didn't click for me either. I didn't even think about it until like a little while later, and then it finally clicked for me, and I was like, oh yeah, they could just do that. Now I was waiting. I was gonna mention. I was like, there is rope there, you guys. But before I got a chance, I saw Shifty light up, and he was like, wait a minute. And I was like,
wait,
You
what?
have rope.
yeah. I was like, okay, you remember
talking
too.
about vines and shit. I was just like, wait, hold on a second. I've said rope like 3 times. There's a rope on the ground.
Yeah, I realized it right before you did. And I was like, oh, yeah. I would have given you guys a hint sooner, but I forgot.
I forgot
got
it
around
existed
it.
too.
We
Sorry.
didn't need a
Yeah.
push in the right direction for that one. We would have
Yep.
figured it out at some
You
point.
got there.
We just plopped this deer on the backpack. It still has a rope tied to it. We tied it.
Still has a rope.
just dangling on the ground.
You're like, wow, man, if only we had rope. Someone get this rope out of the way. I'm trying to tie a vine here. I wanted to talk about, so as far as, I'm still trying to find the balance, because you guys have gotten, I don't want to say mad at me, but it's come up a couple times where, like, do you guys set up camp? No. Are you guys sure? Do you want to do it? Yeah. And then there was the, do you guys want to go to bed? You guys, yeah. Do you guys want to do anything before you go to bed? No. Oh, okay. And then I'm like,
We're not used to having to specify we eat
Yeah,
because we're so used to fucking 5e.
Coming straight from 5e, it's a completely different thing where everything's trying to kill you rather than only certain things are trying to kill you.
Yeah, it's just it's a big thing, and like the huge thing with peril damage is fatigue. You know, going too long without drinking water. You know, there's a couple times that I said Alexios stops and is drinking water. Before Alexios goes to bed, he's eating. Like, I'm trying to drop hints without like being a jerk, because I'm not trying to like you guys, but you know, maybe you guys, there's times in my day where I'm going about my day and I forget to eat because I'm just busy doing a bunch of stuff. And then, you know, you're going to start getting hit with fatigue, and I'm going to start making you guys roll and do this stuff. So that's the big thing with this game is fatigue and dehydration and starvation, and, you know, all this stuff is factors in the game. And I can't just make you guys auto succeed all the time where I'm like, oh yeah, you guys stay hydrated and healthy and eating well all the time, because that's not how the game works. You guys are out on the road, you're adventuring. So I don't know if I'm handling it the right way or not handling it the right way, but when you guys went to bed without eating and hadn't eaten, I don't think you guys ate most of this trip.
Wait. So here's the thing that might like sum up this confusion. So we tried to stop to eat briefly, and you said we were making
And then
camp.
I appeared.
But this is before you appeared, but technically in the same scene.
Yep.
At the start of it, it was
That's
okay. We're gonna
true.
pass around a little food, and then we're gonna continue walking.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, "Okay, are you going to start a fire?" And we said, "No, we're just going to pass around some potato wedges and continue going."
That's true.
And then it was, "Are you going to set up a perimeter?" No, we're just going to pass around potato wedges and then keep going, like a 30-second stop. Like, hey, take some food, keep going. And so that's the confusion. Is like, if we do stop to drink water, are we setting up camp? It becomes that's what you suggested, is if we stop, we are stopping for a while enough to like make camp. And I don't know, like I feel like as long as we all have water and food, that's not really like that's more of a footmark in the adventure. Like in Lord of the Rings, like the characters are traveling and they stop and they have a quip about potatoes and all the things you can do with potatoes, but otherwise they're traveling along and everybody's eating as long as they have
stick them in your butt.
yeah, they have as long as they have food and water, like that doesn't become a narrative element. And like once they run out of that, then that would be where you'd like bring in the starvation, right? But like we have tons and tons of food. It would be unreasonable for us as living creatures in this setting to be like, well, I'm not gonna stop for food unless we're in such a dangerous area that like things are going to jump out at us if we don't set up like a perimeter for
I even went out of my way.
You are in a
to
dangerous
trade-
area where stuff can jump out at you if you don't.
I even went out of my way to trade the snake rations I had on my belt for actual food that I get at that moment.
It's true.
Well, I mean, I feel like you got to give our, well, okay. So there's two things here. Either you have to presumably give us the reasonable, like, you've been traveling. Do you want to stop and take a break in this dangerous area to like eat and drink because you have food and water and or we go back to my original thing of Grunkle suggesting, hey, I'm a soldier berserker, not a ranger or a hunter. Maybe we're in over our heads in this situation? Because Grunkle doesn't have survival as a skill. I don't know if the other
I do.
Okay, see, because that's what Grunkle said early in the adventure is we already fell into mud and almost died. Are we the proper people for this? Should we go back and not commit suicide? And so that's a throwback to that too.
So here's my thoughts. I agree with the first part of we have food, we have water, we can use it. I don't know when, I don't, this isn't a movie. I don't get to see when you're using it. Are you guys tracking your food? Are you guys tracking how many days rations you have? I doubt it, because whenever I mentioned adding something to your inventory, I got backlash on that too, which you guys don't have to add it to your inventory. I'm going to assume you just didn't pick it up and you left it there. Perfectly fine, because then a week later, when you guys get back to town and you guys are like, I had something, I think I got a tusk. No, you didn't. It's not in your character sheet. You did not. Because I told you to put in your character sheet, you said fuck you. Okay, you don't have it in your character sheet. You don't.
I've been putting stuff in my character sheet.
Right, and because I'm not gonna remember. I'm not gonna remember, and I'm not gonna want to go back through all the footage to be like, do we have it? Do we? I'm not tracking it. I don't have that. I'm not a good enough DM to do that. So at the end of the day, I agree with you. But I got to figure out the line. And I guess this is all testing to figure it out. Because it is a survival system to where this stuff kind of needs to be tracked. I think the system...
under the table thing is, right? Just to figure out what whoever's done wrong has done wrong and could probably fix for next time.
Well, it's not done wrong. I think we just got to figure... So, like, I'm testing the waters and kind of figuring stuff out. And I agree with Pickles. I don't think it worked the way I did it. So I got to figure out a different way to do it, which is perfectly fine. I think the system asks a lot more than I'm willing to give, honestly. I think it wants us to track all this and be like, did they eat 3 meals a day? I don't know. And honestly, I really don't care.
I don't eat 3 meals a day in real life.
Right. I'm like, I personally don't really care. I'm trying to be a little bit more strict with it. I mean, like, are you guys eating da-da-da? Because
that fully makes sense, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to be a dick about it, because when I finally brought it up and I was like, Alexios wants to know if he can have some food because he doesn't have any food. You guys have all the food, and you guys are, of course we ate. Oh, I was like, you didn't.
You didn't say anything.
Yeah, so
Alexios was here because otherwise our characters would starve and die.
No, that's the thing. You guys wouldn't, and I agree with Pickles on that. Pickles is saying, of course we would eat, and that's fair. So that's why I'm trying to find the balance, I guess, because the system wants me to be a lot more strict, I think, but I am like, I don't care. They're capable adults. They can figure it out,
So yeah, you just assume if we're going to go camp, we're probably eating as well.
Yeah, I think going forward, what we'll do is, because that was the other thing, talking about passing around food, hanging out versus setting up camp. I think this is short rest versus long rest type talk. Short rest is still stopping, taking a short rest. I agree. I don't think it needs to be like.
How does like?
I'll get to that. I'll get to that 1 second. So I think I agree with Pickles. I don't think stop like at the crossroads. You guys didn't need to set up a whole camp. If you guys didn't want to build a campfire, don't build a campfire. You got rations. You don't need a campfire. That's perfectly fine. You're not worried about heat. You're not worried about light. You're fine. It was just me asking, okay, what are you guys doing? So I know, okay, is he busy? Is he keeping watch? Is he preoccupied? Is he making arrows? Is he tending to his armor, cleaning it? Or, is he getting dirty and run? It just gives me things to think about and prep for. Not necessarily, okay, you guys didn't build a campfire, you're fucked. Like, no, you guys were fine. You guys were fine out there. So like at the crossroads, you guys didn't have anyone to watch. No one was perceiving the area, so you guys didn't hear Wylfer coming out of the trees up on you, along with his animal friend. It wasn't necessarily, oh, you guys are screwed and dead. It was just, okay, you didn't hear them coming. Now they're here. You've noticed them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, am I muted?
Even though you were talking about me, I didn't feel like I should answer that one.
I mean, you're part of the party, so I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully that helped clear up some confusion. But I mean, it also gives me stuff to think about, like stuff to work on. Okay, going forward, I guess maybe we just bring in the terms short rest, long rest, even though it's not a thing in the system. If you guys are okay, we're taking a short rest. That means passing out food, water, making sure everybody's good. You know, no.
I think as long as we're not using it
Rather than-
like a long rest, short rest, like we're
rather
not
than calling
gaining
it a long
health.
rest,
You're-
rather than calling it a long rest or a short rest, you could just call it a snack break.
Snack break. Snack break, meal break. I don't know. But maybe yeah, cuz I mean there is distinction between the two, and there's things you can do with it. So like, making arrows, tending to your gear. One of you guys has a survival kit which comes with access to a book in the system. It's in
Does it?
journal under resources.
I have to reopen the thing. Give me
Oh.
a moment.
That's what I was asking, if you had access to this in your inventory.
I had no idea what you were asking me if I had. So
No, I know. That's why I didn't mention it, but if I should have, I don't know. But that's the thing, is I never know how much I should like give. It's a tough one, but maybe I need to give more, be more lenient.
There's certain things about my character that I haven't let them know yet.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is I don't want to give away stuff, but anyways. So there are things that you can do during camp,
so
during
that's
breaks.
that extra thing that I've got, right?
Yeah, extra thing that you got. You're talking under journal, under resources. Do you see a book that you have?
Journeying the Wilderness?
That's the one.
Oh.
Should give you all kinds of tips and tricks on journeying and camping and
all kinds of tips and tricks. Awesome.
there you go. So anyways, I don't remember where I was going with this, but I guess going forward, we're gonna bring in the idea of quote unquote short rest, long rest, and that way you guys don't have to constantly be like, okay, I'm eating wrath, and I don't have to constantly be like, are you eating pickles? Are you eating pickles?
Not to be confused with, are you eating pickles?
Yeah. I think that'll just make it simpler on both of us, so that way you guys don't have to get mad at me for asking, and I don't have to bother asking you because it's a stupid question anyway. Does that work for you, Pickles? I don't mean to call you out specifically. I know that you're the one that voiced concern.
I guess I'm just still hung up on like the idea. If you're saying it's pointless, right? That's what you just.
What is pointless?
The like to ask if we're eating when we have food. Like here's my question. Okay, like in a narrative sense, you're describing to us as players going through a swamp, and you want this swamp to be perilous and filled with like danger at every corner, and it's like an unpleasant place to be. But we're on a mission for the good of this town, and so I feel like part of the description of going through that is, as long as we have food, things shouldn't be like going terribly wrong. And I get where you're coming from, like trailblazing through a jungle or a swamp, you always run that risk of, do we travel too far and then run out of rations? But I guess I feel like as part of your narrative in travel, wouldn't it make more sense to just be like, you're traveling along, you see this glade here, you go over a hill, you see a surrounding like jungle area or swamp area. I mean, you go down that hill, everything's muddy and swampy. You remember those mud pits from earlier. You stop to have some food before you go in them. You go through. Like, I feel like for the most part, as long as we have food, you could just like put that as a footnote rather than short rest, long rest kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, snack break. To an extent, yeah. I mean, I agree. It's just
you have good descriptions of your food. You gave us great descriptions where I overpaid in the place, and I feel like that's a great time to highlight narratively the delightful food concoctions you made for us.
You guys do have a lot of food.
Yeah, and it's just like, this is the time that you pull out the rabbit that you had gotten, and it is still quite good. You mix it with some of the stew that you got, and I believe there was some bread in there as well.
That's
Like,
the thing
I
is,
feel
I
like-
don't want to narrate all that. So well, I mean, it's a two-part. I want you guys, like, to be fair, in the instant, I was thinking, oh, it'd be so cool if they like set up this whole little picnic and pulled out all their stuff and everybody was able to contribute, you know. Oh, I brought, you know, I killed the snake. I can add it to the stew. Let's make like this really good stew. Oh, I got this gator. We can make like a jambalaya. But you guys were like, no, we go to bed. And I was like, okay, like, that kind of sucked. Like, I wish you guys could have done something with that. That would have been a really cool, like, event. So in my head, that was what was going through it. I was like, that was a really cool opportunity. You guys all kind of could have brought stuff together and had a moment. Do I force you guys to do that? You guys didn't want to do that. Why would I force you guys to do that? Maybe you guys did want to do that, but you wanted me to make you do it.
I should really think more into it because my character's carrying around a mess kit as well, so.
So, I mean, that's the
putting
thing
our
is like.
Clear onto like food and stuff is
But you don't have to, and I think that's where Pickles is getting at. We shouldn't have to. You guys eat, and I also agree with that. So it's like I just in the moment that was what was going through my head. Oh, it'd be really cool. You know, everybody has their little thing. They could like bring this whole thing together. Da da da. But it's also you guys don't have to. And
how
that's
does your
perfectly
dinner
fine.
appear? Might be the question that you should ask. Or how does your campfire setup appear?
I also don't know how you guys do camps yet. This is really our first time doing a camp, so I'm like, okay,
true.
what do you guys want to do when you guys set up camp? What does that look like? And right now it looks like stoking the fire, making sure you have firewood, clearing the area, and going to bed. There was no role play. There was no talking to each other. There was no, okay, let's sit down and have a moment.
Oh god, what's happened?
Fred's computer had an issue or something. Needed
Oh
to restart,
yeah, no, my
and so-
internet's shitting itself as well, so.
Fine. Well, we're wrapping up anyway, but so this is really just a moment for me to get an idea of how you guys set up camp. You know, this is our first time doing camp. I wanted to see what it looked like, and what it looked like was fire, bed, which is fine. You guys are tired, and that's what you guys wanted to do.
Backpack as pillow.
Yeah.
I chucked my blanket on Grunkle and didn't even use my backpack anymore.
So I guess my point is that I see Pickle's point and I agree with it, but I see both sides. So it's like I'm trying to get a feel for it and see what you guys now going forward. I can be like, okay, you guys are setting up camp. I know what that means. I know what that looks like.
I mean,
Yeah.
all you're really asking is slightly more roleplay, and I'm pretty sure we could pull that off.
You guys are great at role. You guys have killed it. The whole first session, I was sitting here blown away. I barely talked because you guys were just going at it the whole time, and I was like, "This is amazing. This is the easiest job ever." This one I felt like I was pulling a little bit, and which is fine. Sometimes that happens. But I don't know. Sometimes I can assume stuff. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm assuming that you've stoked the fire and you've taken care of it throughout the night. And then Shifty was like, I didn't touch the fire. And I was like, oh, okay. You didn't touch the fire.
The most I'd done to stoking the fire was flicking
Yeah.
bits of arrow into it, but that was about it.
So you can see,
I mean, that
there
made sense because I spent my whole time making arrows. So
there are times where I
really
assume
picked up
stuff and it's right, and there's times where I assume stuff and it's wrong. So
and I
it's
went,
kind
in,
of-
went and laid down, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't stock the fire.
you should have assumed that we ate. Well, I would have assumed he fed the fire as well. You know, so it's kind of it's a give.
Okay,
It's a
so that's cool. No, from this point onwards, we just we'll stop assuming that you assume things.
yeah. It's
When it comes to camp, we'll probably do so. When it comes to camping, it's set up camp, pull out the food, eat the food, go to bed.
If
Unless
you
we
guys
say
choose to
otherwise, like
roleplay
my
or do
character
anything different, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise,
yeah, unless we choose otherwise, like what my character done, who is just sit up, bed, fall asleep.
and then short breaks or whatever we're calling it, when you guys are just out. Okay, we're about to head into a dangerous situation. Let's make sure everybody's topped off on food and water before we head in there. Everybody's good. No boils, no trench foot, whatever. Okay, we're heading in. Maybe during those situations, I know, okay, 2 people are on guard, kind of making sure nothing's happening. 2 people, mow down their food, and then you guys swap, and You know, the 2 people are on the outside making sure everything's good, and the 2 people on the inside are mowing down and eating. All right, we're good. Moving on. Or whatever the case may be. Does that work?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, so next week we're going to be back Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, whatever that is, wherever you're at. Monday, 4 p.m. for you?
Monday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
1 p.m. to 4 p.m. for New Zealanders, if you're out there. We'll be back where they have discovered some creatures of the wood.
I'm still being cuddled by Pickles. I mean, Grunkle.
Also Pickles. They're both there, cuddling you.
Yeah, both are true.
I really like these creatures. I'm really happy with them. They're fun. But I'll leave it at that. My name is Wrath. This is King's Crossing Under the Table, talking about the game. I'm here with Mr. Pickles, Shifty, and Fred. Go check out the podcast. And I took that personally on Spotify and Apple and Anchor. Thank you. Go check out Shifty Games on Twitch. Go check out myself on Twitch and him on YouTube. And all the other things, do all the things. I think, as Fred said, be good to your mom or something in the first episode. And that's all I got for you guys.